our defense. They do it every week. Ain't nobody like us. Ain't nobody believe in us. I like us, man.
We're just 3 days away from Championship Sunday in the NFL. The day kicks off in the AFC as the Pats head to Denver for a matchup with one of the best defenses in the league. We'll be talking about both these games a lot today. But new on NFL Live, Pats head coach Mike Vrabel was asked about that Broncos defense today.
I mean, he's targeted infrequently. He's physical. He is great length, can run. He's athletic. He's willing to tackle. He plays physical. You know, you have to really be convicted when you're going to go and throw at him. You better be very convicted, and there better be a good route, and you better have the ball in a good spot, or it's going to be a turnover.
As you heard and see on your screen, Vrabel was referencing Patrick Surtain. Patrick Surtain and company have been the class of the field this season, allowing the fewest yards per play and the lowest red zone touchdown percentage in the NFL. They also had 68 sacks in the regular season, 11 more than any other team. That's what Drake Maye and company are going to be up against. As we welcome you in on this Thursday, one of our favorite days of the week. Dan, Peter, J-Mac here. We'll get to Adam Schefter in just a little bit. But Dan, is there a weakness in that Denver defense that the Patriots might be able to exploit Sunday? They've been solid throughout, but is there something they can do?
Yeah, they'll blow coverages. I've seen it throughout the course of the season. I think, number one, if you use motion in your run game, just because of their eyes and their man coverage, you can get gashes. But more if you get in those bunches in the pass game, they will drop people. Buffalo exposed it, and so have many other teams in the run game. Here comes the motion. You hand the ball off. Look at all the defenders that are left up top. They've got 4. Buffalo only has 3. Somebody is out of position in that situation, but it's been even more so in the pass game. Motion down to a bunch. Look at the communication from a defensive perspective. Nobody is covering the receiver as he comes back. And then you go later in the game, and this is a missed throw by Josh Allen. This is just traditional bunch. There's not even a motion to it. This is a blown coverage. 100% nobody running with the defender, or the receiver going to the corner route. But this is something that I have talked about with this Denver defense all season long. You get into motion and you get into bunch sets 2 or 3 times a game, they will blow that coverage. You got to hit it when it's there.
So true, and I think watching that game and those examples you just showed, the James Cook run, in the first quarter, they had a very similar run. That was exactly the same emotion. Then that one came later in the game. There was no adjustment to it, the bunch route. You saw one with them coming in motion and come back, they score a touchdown. Then you come right back. So I think that's the level of concern, is that these things have been hurting you throughout the course of the season, and then they're hurting you in the beginning of the game and in the end. You got to get on the sideline and correct those things and have good eyes.
There's so much conversation in this game around Jarrett Stidham getting the start, but how about the Pats offense? Peter, is there a spot on that side that has you concerned at all?
Yeah, look, you watch SportsCenter in the morning after these 2 games, you're like, oh, wow, what a play to Hunter Henry that Drake Maye made, or the deep pass and the one-handed catch. That was incredible. Drake Maye has fumbled the ball 6 times in 2 games, and 4 of those they've lost, and 4 of them came against the Texans, and that is a real concern. Ball security is real. Now, look, I get it. Khalil Mack and Will Anderson are 2 of the best pass rushers in the league. They're going to get you here and there. Nick Bonito is pretty good, too. And if Will Campbell does not recover on the 3-yard line on one of those last week, we might be talking about the Houston Texans playing in the AFC Championship game. This ball security issue with Drake Maye was not a big deal all season. It has sprung its head up the last 2 weeks. Denver's front is very good, and he's got to protect the ball. It's been something that Patriots fans will tell you. It's kind of a deep breath every time he goes back to pass. Sometimes you get the highlight. The other time, it's why is he fumbling again?
Yeah, for Vance Joseph, the Denver Broncos defensive coordinator, you're looking at his offensive line, and you're going to attack the left side of that line, starting with Will Campbell at that left tackle spot. You talked about the 6 fumbles. They also have given up 10 sacks in the 2 playoff games in which they have played, and a lot of it has to do not being able to block on one-on-one situations between the 2 rookies on that side when people are running games. And then also for Will Campbell, you mentioned his name. Nick Bonito has one of the best get-offs in the NFL. Trying to contain him. He had a sack fumble against Josh Allen. That is going to be the thing for the New England Patriots. Drake May can be unbelievable. If he doesn't have enough time, it doesn't
Josh
matter.
McDaniels got to help him a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Help Will Campbell more.
We'll talk about exactly how he can do that because I'm interested in that for sure. It's not that Campbell's not talented. He's just young, right? And this is a tough task. Let's go to Miami next, where the new head coach, Jeff Hafley, and GM John Eric Sullivan, hello, ding, ding, ding. The elevator is ready to go, addressing the media for the first time since being hired. Hafley, a defensive guy, was asked how he planned to rebuild the offense. Listen to this.
I need to hire an offensive coordinator. And there's certain core beliefs that I really do believe in, like running the ball and being really physical up front. So when they know we're going to run the ball, we're still going to run it well. That's going to be huge for me. And then we need to build it around the quarterback. And you have to surround that quarterback with weapons. The O-line, the wideouts, the backs, so it's not all him.
And obviously that's a huge question looming over the organization. I'd be naive to think that everybody doesn't understand that. I have a lot of respect for Tua. He's a good football player. He's accomplished a lot in this league. I think whether it's Tua or anybody else, it's unfair and irresponsible for me to sit up here and talk about anything specific before I've talked to the player himself. Quarterback is the most important position in professional sports. You know, I also think it's the most dependent. These guys heard me say this in the interview process.
All right, we can't be the only ones that think those two resemble each other. We're going to table that momentarily. But Adam, joining us now, with the head coach and GM now in place who may be related, how should we expect them to handle the quarterback position in Miami?
Well, Laura, you hear sometimes that married couples begin to look like each other, and Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan were together in Green Bay there the last couple of years. It looks like they've begun to look like each other a little bit, and now they're certainly going to be thinking like each other, especially when it comes to the quarterback position. You heard John Eric Sullivan, the new Dolphins general manager there, be non-committal to Tua Tagovailoa. They obviously wanted to speak with him before they make any public pronouncements, but there's a feeling around the league that has persisted that Tua Tagovailoa has played his last down in Miami. And the only question now is how and when the team moves on for him, whether the Dolphins want to swallow one $99 million dead cap hit in one whole foul swoop, or whether they want to spread it out to 2 years. And that's a decision that the two former Packers employees will have to come to. But the biggest challenge that group is going to have is finding a quarterback, especially in the division where Buffalo has Josh Allen, where the New England Patriots have Drake May, and where the New York Jets have like 9 #1 draft picks over the next few years.
It's not a super quarterback-rich draft either, so not necessarily thinking they'll go there, although we'll keep an eye on that. But the Dolphins offseason just getting started, you guys. Miami needs to clear $27 million just to reach the 2026 salary cap. They do have the 11th overall pick I was just talking about in this year's draft after picking 13th last year. Some notable free agents to keep an eye on: Darren Waller, 3 defensive starters too, Jack Jones, Rasul Douglas, and Ashton Davis. So, J-Mac, how should Miami handle this quarterback position in your mind?
It's tough. When you watched the way last year unfolded and Mike McDaniels moved on, you think about it for Tua Tagovailoa. His best years in the NFL came with McDaniel calling plays and the weapons that they formed around him. You're hitting reset now. You're trying to rebuild. You're trying to start anew. Tua's already said that would be dope to get a brand new start elsewhere. I think they do move on from Tua. I think that would be the correct move for not only Tua, but for the organization as well. And you start to figure out exactly what that looks like. You go back a few years ago for the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton comes in. He has a year with Russ, then they move on from him. There's a lot of dead cap space, and all of those numbers, you figure out a way to make them work. They end up drafting Bo Nix, and they're getting ready to play in the conference championship game this weekend.
It's not tough. Rip the Band-Aid off. This is a full rebuild.
Yeah.
Tua wants a new place. Go play somewhere else and see if you can become a starter in the NFL again. This is not going to be a 1 or 2 year fix in Miami. This is a place that you have to rebuild on both sides of the line of scrimmage before we're ever talking about who the quarterback of the future is in Miami. Tua and Tua's future is going to be